Welcome back, Kid fans. On this week's webisode, we'll be taking an in-depth look into Serena Williams' race to greatness, while also exploring the impact Serena has had on the way women are viewed in sports. And lastly, we will be examining Serena's proper placement on a list of all-time greatest athletes. Who got next, Nate?
The WNBA got next, P. And with the race to the playoffs in the pursuit, we will run through some of the hottest topics from the WNBA that has hit the press thus far. And lastly, here in real time 2015, P, we are in the midst of the greatest summer for women accomplishments in sports. And we will conclude by taking a look at and the evaluation of women in sports. But first, let's jump into the first topic, and that will be Serena Williams.
Let's do it.
Now, for those of you sports fans that have heard of Serena Williams' dominance in tennis, some might not know about her humble beginnings. Serena Williams was born in state of Michigan and is one of 5 sisters, being the youngest, one of which you should already have heard of, Venus. The Williams family moved from Michigan to Compton, a suburb in Los Angeles, California, because their father, Richard Williams, was an avid fan of tennis and envisioned his daughters as champions even before they were born. Incredible. He bought books, instructional videotapes, teaching himself and his wife how to play the game of tennis so they could teach their daughters. Both Serena and Venus showed promise at a very early age, prompting their outspoken father to begin making predictions about their future success in the tennis world. Serena entered the first tennis tournament at age 4.5, and her father then recalls over the next 5 years, she won 46 of her next 49 tournaments she entered. Incredible.
Wow.
She and Venus both excel in the highly competitive preteen circuit in Southern California, both attaining #1 rankings in their respective age groups. Before reaching their teens years, the sisters began attracting endorsements deals beyond their home state of California. That's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Now, with all this said, P, why so much attention? I said tennis. Why so much attention to Serena Williams at this point? I mean, what is it that she's up to? What are we focusing on?
Well, right now, Serena is straight gold digging. She seemed primed to make history by winning her 22nd Grand Slam title, coming off her most recent win at Wimbledon, which gave Williams her 4th consecutive Grand Slam championship, dating back to last year's U.S. Open. And yes, people, I said gold and not gold digging, referencing the recent photo Serena posted on Twitter with the shirt saying gold digging. And she seems primed to hit it hard, and she's ready to make it happen, man.
Okay, but I will post this, but P. With that being said, as proud as she may seem, the rest of the field is dying to knock her off. I mean, she's a target right now, but she's on her historic pace right now.
Oh yeah.
So case in point, Sam Stoyer, who is 5-8 all-time versus Serena. However, Stoyer did win her only Grand Slam at the U.S. Open back in 2011.
I remember that.
Okay, and she did so pretty convincingly, winning 2 sets to 6-2.
Oh yeah.
And 6-3.
Oh yeah.
Made some interesting comments about the forthcoming match. Now, I'm going to grab this here and read you the comments.
Okay.
Open, quote. You know she wants to get calendar slam. She's not immune to the nerves and pressure, Story said, reported by ABC.net. She added, you have to go after it. Whatever it is you do, you have to bring it that at big moments and make it happen, end quote. Now, she just went through Wimbledon and she did something spectacular. I mean, she busted through. She was behind and she made her way through.
Oh yeah.
Now we're in the U.S. Open.
Ooh.
She's phenomenal. But she's a phenomenal athlete that's aging. Do you think she got enough gas in the tank to continue on this pace?
Absolutely. And recently we've seen Serena sit out some tournaments for, I think it was an elbow issue.
Yes.
She cited, and a lot of people are thinking she's just resting out, only for some of these bigger tournaments, for the Grand Slams, obviously.
That's correct.
So they believe she's waiting out to the U.S. Open. I know she's currently participating in a smaller tournament as of now, and she's actually been quite dominant this season in some of the smaller tournaments. So she has played the majority of this season. However, I do believe that mental fatigue can ultimately derail Serena from winning this calendar slam. Let's remember, she had to go through a tough field at Wimbledon.
That's correct.
I wrongfully picked Serena to win at Wimbledon.
Really? Why so?
Or lose, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I wrongfully picked her
I
to
thought you
lose.
betting against her.
She won.
Okay.
I wrongfully picked her to lose. Reason why? Because
Okay.
I thought the mental drain would take its toll on Serena of having to get up for every matchup. As you read in that quote there, they're coming after her, and she had a tough field.
Yes,
she didn't have an easy bracket to get through. She had some tough matchups, and then just the pressure of trying to win this calendar slam. You know, that's huge. When the last time we seen a woman win a calendar slam? I know Serena definitely wants to put her name in that hat and make this history on her way to becoming maybe the all-time leader in Grand Slams. She's a couple back to tie the lead. I think the most ever is 24 Grand Slams. So she, for a woman, so she's on this historic pace. And the mental fatigue, the pressure, as she cited, she's not immune to this. She's reading the press and she's listening, and she wants to make history as well. She's going for it. So ultimately, I do believe that can be a deciding factor in her losing. What do you think, Nate?
You know what? At this point right now, and what she has accomplished is phenomenal. It is. And giving back the brief background that I gave you guys about her humble beginnings, there's other athletes too that have their humble beginnings and background, how they came up into the sport itself. But with that said, and this is bringing up points, it was not easy. Not for the two sisters.
Oh yeah.
And what I mean by that is how tennis first embraced the two Compton sisters, straight out of Compton sisters. Okay. And what I mean by that is and you pointed out the mental fatigue. And what probably do you mean by that mental fatigue?
Yeah, getting up for every matchup, having to play your best. Because if you're in a particularly tough bracket or field, there's no games off, there's no sets off, there's no matches off. Every play counts. So ultimately, that could lead to you becoming tired mentally.
Exactly.
And physically, you can see its toll. It'll take on you. So I believe that's going to be a deciding factor.
And the only reason why I mentioned more aspect of the mental fatigue is because the psychology of how they were introduced and came into a certain tennis match, and and if you guys don't know or heard, like racial slurs that's thrown out even in the world of football, or should I say soccer, for those that not sure exactly what I mean by that. But there are athletes out there in the world in international sports that because of their ethnicity or gender, they're being called out and ridiculed right there on the court or on the field. So, and what I mean by the mental fatigue with her and what makes her incredible is that I feel as though, and I would say it this way, from the female athlete point of view, and because of the era that she's coming out of, and I don't think she should ever had to see this, but she's almost like her and her sisters, like the Jackie Robinson of the sport. And what I mean is this: one thing is hard to be, a great athlete. Like there's many athletes, but to be a great one, it takes so much dedication. But when you already have, and I'm not saying the entire tennis world was working against them, but it was kind of hard for the tennis fans to accept these two girls from Compton. Even to this day, the shape of her body is being ridiculed, saying that she's in the form of a man.
Wow.
And
some of the fashion, some of the fashion choices
being mocked,
and some of the trends they've said as well.
Exactly. So she's not only going through physical, but this mental fatigue. And the only reason why I say the aging Serena Williams, because she came through out of all of this. The only reason why we're really bringing this attention to you guys so you can understand is that how phenomenal this woman is, how truly what she did and brought to the sport of tennis, and not only tennis, to the athletic world.
Oh yeah.
So we revere like the Michael Jordans, we revere the Kobe Bryants. We love the Peyton Mannings. These guys are celebrated, and rightfully so. They worked hard, and the only reason why this particular woman to me is like the baddest athlete right now is not only her accomplishment, but what she had to go through to get it. A lot of athletes go through a lot of mental anguish, fans yelling at them, calling them names, no question. But someone question not only your physique of the gender you are as a woman, but they question your ethnicity. And that's pretty rough, and that's tough. And, for me looking at it and me being like in awe, I think that's incredible what they achieved at this point.
Absolutely. And even at her being, age 33,
yes,
at a point of her career where supposedly she's supposed to be declining. Most athletes decline physical sports at around age 33, 34. You come out of your prime, your physical prime. Mentally, she still has it. Yeah, she's showing signs of being stronger than ever physically as well. So that's very phenomenal as far as what she's accomplishing, how she's doing it, particularly at this age. Exactly. I think another key thing to look at with Serena will be how in tune her game is.
Yes, it is.
She's currently playing in a tournament right now, so I know she's brushing up before the U.S. Open. So let's take a look at that.
Right.
Was the elbow injury, was that smoke and mirrors, or was it really a nagging injury she wanted to just let rest before the tournament?
I believe so.
Let's see how she can shape out. Could rust play a key factor? You know, with her not playing in some of the recent tournaments.
Yeah, to build up that momentum to keep it going, because she's been grinding out for the longest. Not only her, but her sister as well, Venus.
Oh yeah.
You know, she's been in trouble and bothered by injuries as well.
Oh yeah.
And even though the topic we're speaking about Serena, I also wanted to point out that her older sister Venus, she's incredible as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, if they were both, you know, able to keep up this healthy pace, man, who would know what they can accomplish?
Oh yeah.
Full health, full bill of health. You know, these two sisters are phenomenal. With that all being said as well, now the female athlete here, Pete, and we're focused on Serena because, you know, my take on it is it a fair shake that we still see women as not as, in terms of peers, as athletes when we talk about male athletes? Are they not considered peers amongst the athletic brothers and sisters?
I don't believe so. Particularly when I watch mainstream sports media, I don't hear the likeliness of putting Serena on Mount Rushmore.
Exactly.
You know, out here Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, the usual suspects. I don't hear many women athletes, even in sports like soccer, or if you're looking at WNBA.
Yes.
A lot of women are flourishing here. 2015.
Exactly.
I'm watching the Chicago Sky.
I'm talking about. Yes.
Oh man.
A beast.
So I don't believe they get their proper due as far as just being considered as men.
Right.
And I'm not saying they're men, but if we're gonna put male athletes on this list and say that far and beyond, if you look at what Serena Williams have accomplished
thus far, it's incredible, man.
Her track record speak volumes.
And then this is not even counting the trophies that she accomplished before even growing pro.
Oh.
I mean, you could literally probably fill up a whole house with her accomplishments.
Oh man, she's.
And with that being said,
she wins a lot.
Right. Where's her shoe deal? Like, and if she has one, you know, and I don't know if she does. See, and that's probably onto my own ignorance. And I have to point that out too, because I don't want to come hard just at the media, but maybe in society is too how we view women athletes. Because me growing up, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, if I'm looking at women's basketball or any women's tennis, women's soccer, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's probably the second or third or last thing I want to view. You know, and the only reason why, because the culture that I was brought up in and raised in, and the culture I'm speaking of is that male macho bravado. You know, you want to see the toughest of the toughest, but not all the time we view women as tough. And I had to even take a step back of myself and view and check myself, because the toughest woman I ever knew was the one that birthed me. You understand? Because that woman went through a lot, you know, to make sure that I had provide, and you know, and there's some days that she worked hours, and I mean things that we praise and give you know, accolades to males doing. I'm telling you, women out there doing it as well.
Oh yeah.
And in terms of, a lot of people say, well, athletically or strength wise, they're not as equal. But you gotta understand and realize, we're talking about athletes, right? We talk about what they can accomplish. That woman that we're speaking about, Serena Williams, I'm telling you, she's more athletic and strong than I am. And yes, I will come out and say that as a man. And the reason why, I'm not that disciplined. And if I was, I'm telling you, then I could be only mentioned as her peer. Not to separate myself from her, because I would never take her greatness away from her. She accomplished that, she did it, you know. And then even the greatness of her father, just to even bring this up, that, you know, some fathers want males, right? And with these males, you know, they proud. Okay, my son can be this, that, and the third. When you get a daughter, and I'm talking about, you know, the mentality of it. When you get a daughter, well, you know, she's my little princess, you know, just dainty, things of that nature. You got to understand,
right.
Women are more than just objects. Women are more than just a physique that you can marvel at and look at. They're more than that. They are human beings as well. We have to take recognition of that. And again, this is just a self-check to me, not recognizing their excellence And not until later in life I start to realize it. I was like, man, these women are incredible.
Oh yeah.
Like Serena Williams to me is the Michael Jordan of tennis, hands down. I mean, she's just awesome.
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you feel that way? Like, in terms of society, in terms of how media projects just women athletes, period. Like, what is your take on that?
In my short lifetime, I'm 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of the greatest athletes. Kobe Bryant's my personal favorite athlete. His mental fortitude is something I've always admired.
Mm-hmm.
His ability to play through adversity, big time pressure moments. Whether there was adversity in his personal life, I felt like he still came to the court and was able to, go to work. Essentially, go to work,
mm-hmm.
become a professional, be a consummate professional, and dominate. Nothing stopped him from that. And I see Serena in that same light.
Yes.
But you rarely hear her name in that upper echelon of athletes when we talk about greatest athletes of all time.
That's right.
So I believe Serena's her name definitely deserves to be in that hat. It's not about who's better than who.
Exactly.
But when you talk about a certain group of greats, she definitely belongs there, as well as other women we'll get into shortly here.
Oh, yes.
But let's take a look at what's coming up here in the immediate U.S. Open.
Yes.
So now we know Serena's had a great run at the U.S. Open.
Yes.
She won in '99. She won in 2002,
Mm-hmm.
2008, 2012, 2013. So all time, she's 6-8 at the U.S. Open. So she's dominated there as well. She has a great resume there. So I'm looking forward to watching it, and I'm looking forward to see if she can win this counter to slam.
Yes.
And see if she can make it happen.
Yes, and guys, please tune in. Not just for the race of Serena, but tune in. These are phenomenal women athletes. They are. I mean, just follow them. Notice their abilities. Yes, they are peers amongst other male athletes as well. These women are incredible. Period. But to say the least, or not to say the least, but Serena Williams is killing.
Oh, she's killing.
She is giving it all.
And I remember, for a while, and another reason I believe this is so important is for a while, Serena had went through a down period here in the mid-2000s where she became popular outside the sport of tennis.
Yes.
And some people would say she wasn't as focused on the
true.
sport when she became, you seen her in some of the music videos or whether it was television shows, making appearances.
Mm-hmm.
But since 2012,
yes.
Serena Williams is 56-6 versus the top 10 players. So she has it on. Turned on. I don't know how long she can keep up this historic pace at her particular age, but I'm rooting for her.
Yes, most definitely.
Father time, like they say, catch everybody, but it seems like she's working hard. She's in great condition, and we're gonna see what happens.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We're gonna tune in just like the rest of the sports world.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, we're gonna head out of here. We're gonna jump into part 2. WNBA got next.
Oh yes.
Playoffs are in hot pursuit. Please check out that video. And guys, please remember, only sign deals if the math is real. Get your kit. What that kit stand for?
Keep it thorough, people.
Take it easy.